The characters in this book are on Discord too. What's up guys, I'm your teen librarian Gina, and we're going to be doing things a little bit differently going forward. Rather than going in depth into what I liked and didn't like about the plot and the characters and whatever else I usually talk about, these videos are just going to contain my overall opinion of the book. If you'd like to have a more in-depth discussion, join me for Impulse Affirmation, our teen book club on Discord where you can read whatever you want, then come talk about it. It's spooky season, which is, I assume, why you guys chose the book with Lycanthropy in the title. That means werewolf. While one of our main characters is a werewolf, this is by no means your typical paranormal story. There is no tragic romance, no mysterious disappearances, except for that one stray cat and at least one other animal, but we know what happened to them. There's also not any terrifying stalking incidents. No. Instead, this is a book centering on people learning to cope with chronic illness. That means that they have physical ailments that can come and go, but aren't curable. You just have to learn to live with it. I loved almost everything about this book. The two main characters, Priya and Bridget, are each suffering from a different chronic illness. Priya is learning to cope with the after effects of a bacterial infection, which will be with her for the rest of her life, and which are forcing her to completely rewrite her future, while Bridget is coming to terms with the fact that there's no cure for the disease she's had since childhood, only management, which limits the number of normal coming-of-age experiences she can have. Along for the ride are a vast array of supporting characters. In person, we have friends and family members, including a new friend in the local animal control officer that every werewolf should be on good terms with. In addition to their local friends and family, the girls are members of an online support group for those with chronic illnesses. These are people facing similar issues who can support and commiserate with each other, even if they can't be there in person. Which, let's be honest, can make it so much easier to open up. Relationships are really the key theme of this story. And I love that the in-person and online friendships are given equal importance. They create two very different support systems, but neither is ever treated as lesser or unnecessary. In fact, they're more symbiotic than opposing. When one member of their chronic illness support group admits to having had suicidal thoughts, everyone is immediately concerned. They encourage them to talk to someone who's local and who'd be able to offer physical support and assistance if it ever became necessary. They even brainstorm who the individual could talk to, since they're having problems talking to their parents. And the person in question ends up talking with a school guidance counselor on the suggestion of the group, who provides in-person support they need and helps them start the conversation with their parents. It's kind of awesome. The members of the online support group talk about the issues they've faced, their frustration with people who try to tell them how they're supposed to feel or that they're not really sick, and help each other come up with coping strategies and work out how to talk to other people in their lives who don't necessarily understand. It's so important to have both physical and mental support when you're going through stuff, especially longer term or recurring issues. And it can be really hard to find people who have both similar backgrounds and who have compatible personalities and interests. The internet is an amazing resource to bring people together, and I was thrilled to see that highlighted so positively in this story. But there is some controversy surrounding this book. If you look at the reviews on Goodreads and other sites like it, there are a number of reviewers who refuse to even read the book because the cover appears to be comparing a person of color to an animal, and that's racist. For clarification, the person of color is Priya and the animal is Brigitte in her werewolf form. There are also a number of reviewers calling the story cultural appropriation. The main character, Priya, is Indian American, and the author of the book is white. On her website, O'Neal does say she had sensitivity readers look over the manuscript several times, with particular emphasis on Priya's family and culture. Having read the book, it felt more like tokenism to me. There were no plot points that relied on Priya being Indian American, and nothing that felt like it would need to change if she and her family were Caucasian. So while I loved everything else about this book, I started to become uncomfortable about halfway through when I realized how similar Priya's background and thought process were to mine. And that because of the author's ethnicity, I couldn't trust that the voices of Priya and her family were authentic. Those are some of my personal opinions of lycanthropy and other chronic illnesses. Obviously, there's a lot more to talk about, including recommendations. One of the books I would highly recommend if you're interested in reading about the Indian American experience from an author who lived it is You Bring the Distant Near by Mitali Perkins. If you're more interested in the powerful friendships that can be built by similar, unexpected experiences, check out The Edge of Anything by Nora Shalloway Carpenter. What are your thoughts on the positive and the controversial aspects of this book, or whatever else you've been reading? Join me for Impulse Affirmation next Tuesday or any other fourth Tuesday of the month at 4:30 p.m. and let's discuss. Can't make it on Tuesday? You can still join the conversation on the LAQ Library Teens Discord server. Our text chat is live 24/7, so you can ask questions and leave comments whenever it's convenient for you. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to vote in November for the book I'll be reading in December, and I'll see you on Discord.